It's Ports a Call waterfront dining, award-winning service and cuisine with a view of the dynamic L.A. harbor from every seat. For reservations and directions, visit portsacalldining.com or call 310-833-3553.
Pop, 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 go to pistol. Bang, 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 go to gun. One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright.
The collective imagination is stored under pressure, and that pressure has been building for centuries. Every poem, written out or not, every song, recorded or not, every dance, bring what you got. When I sit down to write, I access this treasury. It's all in there. And not just those who we all might mention as masters of creative tension: Beethoven, James Brown, Toni Morrison, Al Pacino, Yo-Yo Ma, Selena, Ozzy Osbourne, Tupac, Biggie, and don't forget CeeLo. But there's really so much more if we open our ears when we open that door. A 12-year-old kid walking the railroad tracks in Iowa, a beat pulsing in his head, a new song in his heart. A soldier in Afghanistan, when she gets a break from the Taliban, she writes a novel on her cell phone with a message that goes back through Platoon, through Catch-22, to a Western Front that's all quiet. A woman in the laundromat, a lullaby on her lips that her mother taught her, or was it that her husband got her to invent it on the marriage bed? I feel the pressure of the collective imagination, but that pressure isn't holding me down or wearing me out. It's a powerful force that's pushing me, inviting me to fly, to embrace and then change what's come before, so I can move toward the future through my very own door. Welcome to Episode 7 of Love and War, the podcast in which the irresistible force overcomes the immovable object. I'm your host, Lee Ballinger. I'm an author, poet, and producer based in Los Angeles. If you want to know more, check out my bio on Facebook, LeeBallinger. You can hit me up at rockrap@AOL.com, ROCKRAP, or on Facebook. Recently, I took my old dirty Honda to the local self-service car wash. I washed it, rinsed it, and then pulled ahead to a parking space where I began to use paper towels to dry it. Paper towels? I heard a voice hissing at me. Paper fucking towels! I looked up, and there was a young guy drying his car 10 feet away. His face was red, and his eyes were bugging out. Paper fucking towels? Really? He stared at me like he wanted to kill me. I went back to work, but I could feel his eyes burning a hole in my head. When I turned to look at him again, he had stopped drying his car and was just standing there, hands on hips, staring at me. This made me pretty uncomfortable, both because I wished he would mind his own business and because I now had to mentally prepare for the possibility of physical combat with some fit-looking guy half my age. Finally, he walked over to me and offered a cloth rag. "Use it," he commanded. "You can keep it. No paper towels. You can't recycle them." He was shocked when I declined his gift, but he eventually turned away muttering, and I was able to finish drying my car in relative peace. Maybe I should have accepted that rag in the spirit of resource conservation, but the rag was not, as my car wash antagonists seem to believe, an innocent savior of the earth. It was made of cotton. Today, cotton growing accounts for nearly a quarter of all agricultural insecticides used. The result is poisoned water, land, and people. Cotton is very thirsty, requiring over 1,300 gallons of water per pound grown. If anything, I'm the one who should have been angry. Cotton? Really? While recycling might slow the consumption of limited resources, it is not simply a benign gift to Mother Earth. According to Statista.com, recycling will have revenues of $100 billion a year by 2020. Recycling is a huge business, and it operates like one. For instance, one recycling plant in Washington State produces more toxic emissions than any other factory in the region. The next biggest 3 polluters in the area are also recycling plants. In Los Angeles, the Exide battery recycling plant has contaminated over 10,000 homes and several communities. Meanwhile, while we waste precious time pointing fingers at each other, corporations and governments are destroying the earth and its inhabitants, dwarfing whatever efforts the people make. Thousands of children in Flint, Michigan have been brain damaged by poisoned water. There have been nearly 10,000 oil tanker spills worldwide. Fracking continues to cause earthquakes and health problems wherever it goes. At least at the car wash, it's still possible to have a semblance of a discussion about the environment. Elsewhere, the space for dialogue is shrinking. For many years, corporations have filed so-called SLAPP suits that have been used against groups which speak out against suburban developments that would harm the environment, or against those who try to stop oil pipeline construction. With the passage of Senate Bill 12 into law in Wyoming in March, those stakes have been raised. This new statute makes it illegal to collect evidence of environmental destruction on public land if that could lead to a government investigation. For example, say a rancher allows his herd to graze too near to public waterways on public land and the cattle cause an E. coli outbreak. Anyone who collects evidence of the danger and reports it to a government agency would be subject to large fines and prison time. The guy who challenged me at the car wash, I actually kind of admire him. His expression of love for the environment is beautiful, even if expressed in an ugly and confused way. The same could be said for America's army of recycling advocates. They are trying to save us, but instead they provide green cover for the enemies of the earth by framing the world into pro- and anti-recycling individuals. This diverts our attention from the deliberate environmental destruction going on all around us. Of course, recycling should be part of the very basis of our life on Earth. But that can only happen after the industries and policies which threaten our lives are reined in and disposed of like so many paper towels. I have a new book out called Love and War, My First 30 Years of Writing. You can download a copy, absolutely free, at loveandwarbook.com. That's loveandwarbook.com. Let me know what you think of it. Here's a short excerpt from the book The Poverty Industry by Daniel Hatcher. In 2010, a whistleblower lawsuit was made public with allegations that WellCare schemed to save money by removing neonatal babies and the terminally ill from its insurance rolls. According to the lawsuit, the company threw a celebratory dinner for the neonatal babies disenrollment team after the team successfully removed 425 babies from its membership rolls. The Poverty Industry is an important new book which shows clearly that this disgusting episode, far from being an exception, is typical of how corporations dominate government agencies which are supposed to take care of us. Is there an alternative? Of course. Hundreds of millions of people around the world have free universal health care where decisions are made by doctors, not corporations.
Do I speak for the world?
Let's finish up with a quote of the week. This one from Ulysses Bea, tenor saxophonist in Ozomatli, who said, "If I were to label myself a revolutionary, people would view that as a holier-than-thou title. I think we're everyday revolutionaries, the same way you are and they are. The issues of life that are very close to your heart, that you wish could be better. And I don't think it's very hard to want to feed everybody, to clothe everybody, to educate everybody, to want to have everybody healthy. If those are revolutionary causes, then everybody is a revolutionary. That's it for now. If you see me on the street, smile back.